Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to write out the word that we want to make a lettering piece of. So I'm going to write it out here. So I'm writing hand lettering. This is what I'm going to letter. So why am I doing that? First, it's because I need to know what space each letter is taking. And second, it helps me, it's like a reminder, because when I'm going to be focused on my lettering piece, I may forget letters. This happens quite often, and you can end up with a beautiful lettering, but you realize there's one or two letters missing. So this is a little reminder that you keep just here under your eyes. So just write it out, and from now you can decide what style you will want to make your lettering look like. So I decided that I'm going to make letters that are larger than high. So this will be something like a H, more like this, see, then like that. Okay, so this is what I'm going to aim for, not this. Okay, so let's get to it. I'm going to start here really close from the border, so I can have my full word fitting inside the page and not be, I don't want to end up here and not having enough room for my whole lettering. So I will make it big enough, make my letters big enough so they are they fit, and I can add details. You see, I make simple capital letters. I decided that I would make them like 1, 2, 3. There are like from here to here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 points. So I will replicate this, make it a little larger, or replicate it never smaller for my next letter. So here for my N, I'm going to make the bar here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make the second bar here, and make the diagonal here, like this. Okay. Now I'm going to make my D, and with the D, you have a curve. So the thing I suggest you to do is to draw guides like this. I will draw guides. 1, 2, 3, 4. I draw my guide here. I know that the D is going to be constrained in this box here. Okay, so this is tougher to make a curve from side to side like this. This is way more easier to do it from bottom to top or from top to bottom. This is why I turn my sheet of paper. This will be way easier to do like this than to do this. So I go like here. I use my dots as references here, and I make my curve like this. So don't hesitate to redraw. This is pencil. You can erase it. There's no problem. You can take your time. So you draw a nice letter form. The slower you will go, the better it will be. So don't be fooled because I go, maybe you think I draw fast. Draw at your own pace. I draw maybe fast for you because I'm a bit more used to it, but really go at your pace. It's okay if you take 15 minutes, 20 minutes to 1 hour. It's okay. Just don't. It's not a race. It's lettering. It has to be something pleasant. So don't rush, or your design will be sloppy. So I need to make the hyphen here. So I make the spacing a little bigger here than between those letters. Okay. So about that, you may wonder about kerning. So there is a difference between spacing or tracking and kerning. Spacing, that is also called tracking, is the space between letters. And you can see that I make the space 1, like, well, this is the space between 2 points, like this. But the kerning is a little more tricky, because here, even if there is like the same space here and here, there is all this area here that has to be taken into account when you do proper kerning. So we will talk about it a bit later, but keep in mind that spacing and kerning, it's not exactly the same thing. So I'm making my E. So you may realize that with the dot grid, it's really easy. It's like a connect the dot game. You just connect the dots with capital letters. It's quite easy. So yeah. With the vertical, horizontals, and diagonal segments, it's quite easy. So you may wonder, do I need to make the same letters every time? Not, I just need to make one occurrence and then I scan it and I repeat it. Well, we're doing lettering, so the goal is to make a lettering of the whole word. Besides, with this drawing and in general, I want to keep an organic feeling, like it's hand-drawn. So if I have the same letter, I duplicate my E for all the E's of my word, it's going to show. I want each letter to look like I hand drew it. So I draw each letter, and it's a great training to draw several times the same letter. So here for the R, it's the same case with the D. I need to make a curve. So as you can see, I have 4 points high here. So I can make a decision. Do I make this part, because an R is 2 parts, okay? This is an R, you have this segment, you have this part here, and you have this part, you have 2 parts. So will I make this part bigger than this one, smaller, or will I make those equal? Well, I decide that I will make this one a little bigger, so it's gonna be 2/3, 1/3, okay? So I draw guides like this, like with the D, so it's easier for me to draw. Don't hesitate to draw small guides like this to help you draw. So this will be contained into this little box, and I draw my line here that will separate the 2 parts that I showed you here. So this will be here, the loop, and the little part here, okay? So same thing, I turn my drawing. Don't hesitate to turn your drawing. It's way more comfortable. It's better to turn the drawing than curve your hand like this. So like that, okay. Take the time, draw a nice curve. Be careful when you draw curves. And there we go. Perfect. I use the dots. There's a dot here, a dot here. This will look great. Perfect. So now I have a I. So this is what I told you a bit earlier with kerning. If I make the same space here, I will have I will have the I here, and then the next letter is going to be here, and the I will look like it's stuck between the two letters because the I doesn't take as much space as other letters. So I will not space it. I will not make like this space between 2 points, but this space between 2.5 points. So I'm going to make my I here between this point and this point. So when I will draw the N just after that, it's not going to look like the I is stuck between the R and the N. So I have 1, 2, 2.5, 3, and 4. I start my N. See? Same thing as the first one. I draw the diagonal. And you can see here that the I doesn't look like it's stuck. It looks like the amount of space between the letters is equally distributed. So I'm going to make the last letter. This is a G, so the G can be a complicated letter. So here how I'm going to proceed for this letter. I'm going to make a quick sketch here. So this is a G. It's usually it's like a O with an aperture and then just this little part here. But this can be differently. You can have this little part here, or you can make like a U like this, 45-degree U, and straight line here, and like this. So that's your choice. Once again, this is the creativity part. I think I'm going to go with this one because I don't know if you noticed, but it's like the D that I have here, but reversed. So this will add a nice touch. I'm going to make it here. So let's go. I draw my vertical line and I make the little box. Call that a little box where my G is going to be contained. Okay, I will start by drawing my D. So there is this part here. I turn my page so I can make it easier, and here. Don't hesitate to draw guides. You can always erase them later. So my curve is done like this. And I'm going to stay at the same level as my R here. Okay. So I will stay on the same level and do my little part here. And there we go. You have the skeleton of the word hand lettering. It's done. So now we can add more thickness to it. So we're going to add some thickness to our letters. So the first thing to know is, how are we going to do this? Are we going to do, for example, from both sides like this? No, we're going to use the skeleton as the outer part. Every thickness will be inside the letter. So I'm not going to make something over this line. No, it's going to be from here to here. Okay, so the thickness I decided to do is like 0.5. So what does that mean? Well, let's say that the distance between 2 points is 1. Okay, well, 0.5 is the distance between the half of this distance. So this will be my thickness, 0.5, and I'm going to stick to it so everything is consistent. So I'm going to start with the H like this. So I draw a line here between this point and this point, like this. Nothing hard. Same here. And for my horizontal line here, I'm doing 0.25 here and 0.25 here. So the overall is 0.5. So I don't measure it with a ruler, but if you feel better with a ruler, go for it. I like to do it just like this with the eye, but don't hesitate to use a ruler if you think it can help you. I close my cap. So you can definitely go all the verticals and then all the horizontals and then all the diagonals. Just do whatever works for you. I'm going to do every letter one by one for the sake of the tutorial, but definitely if you feel it gives you momentum to do like every vertical, then every horizontal, and you can go faster if you want to go faster. Just try it out and adopt whatever suits you. So same here. I define 0.5. I do my diagonal. Same with this one. Same with my A. So you see the fact that I made letters that are big enough makes me keep with the little aperture here. If it was smaller, I would have lost it. Okay, so with the N, I will be confronted to a particular case. I'm going to show you in a bit with the diagonal. You're going to see that. So I'm going to draw my two verticals, close them, and here, if I do like with the H or the A and I draw two lines at 0.25 and 0.25, I will end up with it will go higher here and lower here. It won't stop here. You see, if I'm going to draw it so you can realize what I mean. If I make my two lines, I will have to make my vertical line here go way down and here go way up. I don't want that. I want to stick to this height here and here. So my technique is the following. I go from here, I define 0.5, it's going to be around here, and I go from here to this point here, so it makes like a triangle here, you see, and I do the same for the other side. Define what is 0.5 thick and just draw my line like that. Okay, so my D, the D is going to be tricky too because there is a curve. So how do you make a consistent curve? So first of all, turn your drawing, it's easier. You draw guides like this, and you can definitely draw a guide here. It helps you. So you know that you will follow this line here, this line here. You will never go beyond this line, and here you will have to make curves that are parallel to this curve and this curve. Okay, so like this. I make a curve here. I just touch the guide. I don't go beyond the guide. And there we go. And this is nice. Okay, the hyphen, I forgot it. So 025, 025, so the total is 05. Here, simple letters, only vertical and horizontal. But don't be fooled by simple. Take care of your simple letters as much as you take care of your tricky letters. They count too, and you can see a lot of the flaws show a lot on simple letters. Don't neglect them. The reason why I'm not using a ruler also is because I know that even if I'm making an effort to draw straight, the lines that I draw with my hand like that can't be absolutely straight. And this is actually great because if you want to make a vectorizing that is more organic, not really smooth and tight like a font, it will look more natural. So you want to keep this authenticity. And this is why I like not to use a ruler. Also, it trains you at drawing straight lines. This will only come with practice, drawing straight lines. Okay, so my second E. This. Simple. Okay, more challenging letter, the R. So I draw the simple part first, so I can get rid of it. Okay, I draw my guides, so you can use the horizontal lines that you drew for the other letters as guides if you need a reference. So I make a guide here, I make another guide here, another one here. Like with my D, this is the exact same thing. I can draw this one, so I make it inside like the others I showed you. And as with the D, I turn my paper and I go up, I draw my curve, I touch the guide, don't go beyond the guide, other curve, and down. And there you go. Okay, next letter is easy. 025 on the left and on the right. Yes. So the N, same problem as with the first N. Go up here, you stop when you hit the diagonal, like here. Same thing here, you go down, you stop when you meet the diagonal. 0, 0, 5, 0, 0, 5, and you draw your segment. Like this. Next step, this. So same thing as with the D and with the R. You draw guides. One here, another here. This is the limit I don't want to reach. This here, this here. Okay, so that's enough for now. Rotate my page. I draw up, curve, touch the guide, keep on doing my curve. One movement is the best, but if you need to make several movements, it's okay. Don't push yourself too much, just work at it, make tons of G's and D's and curves and O's, and just take the time you need to make it right. Okay, so with this part I will take example on my R to know about where I need to make it. So this is going to be here, like this. Here, and here I can make it a bit longer, and there we go. So we're done. A great thing that I like to do is filling the drawing. So you're going to fill the inside of the letters. Why? Because it helps you visualize how much space it takes and if it really looks good. Right now you can have an idea, but it's not enough. So I really recommend to fill your letters. You simply color inside your letters with your pencil. So I'm using the same pencil, same lead holder. You can take larger, like an 09. Great. So here you can see that I put my hand on the lettering. Be careful when you do that because you can make smudges. Or you can put a piece of paper between your hand and the paper so it doesn't smudge. Yeah. Rotate the paper. Can't stress that enough. Rotate your paper. You don't rotate your head or your hand. It's way easier to rotate the paper. So when you've been doing a lettering piece for quite some time, you may feel a little pain in your hand, in your fingers, or here in the palm of your hand. That's normal. Don't hesitate to take breaks. This is really important because if you keep on working on the pain, you will try to go fast because you will want to be done so you can rest. And also when you are working against the pain, you're focusing on the pain and not on the drawing. So if you need a break, you take a break. You leave your drawing, you go take a small break, not too long so your hand won't cool down, like when you're doing sports. It's a muscle. You have muscles in your hand, in your arm. They need to stay warm. But take a little break go have a glass of water, but don't work against the pain, because your work will suffer from it. So you can see that my drawing is appearing on my paper. I can see how it looks. And it looks great. Okay, I'm almost done. Last letter. So it's the same thing. If you need to take more time to fill your letters and do it right and not go beyond the lines, stay within the letters, take all the time you need. It's not a race. You will go faster as you train. It will come naturally. Don't try to become a fast letterer. Just focus on drawing beautiful letters. So we're done. So you can see that it's really drastically different. Right now I can really see my lettering. I can spot if there are mistakes. I can spot if some letters are too large or too narrow, if there are kerning problems, tracking problems. So really go for it, fill your letters, and if you need to erase and do something over, do it. Really, don't settle just because you want to be done. It's okay not to have it right from the start. So if you need to do something over, you just let your drawing rest, go do something else, and come back at it later. You will be really happy. Come back with a fresher mind and fix all the little mistakes. So now we are going to do a script lettering, also called cursive lettering. So it's the lettering where you have ligatures between the letters. I'm going to make the word live. So script lettering needs a little more preparation, because you really want to know what direction you will take. So I want to do something that is on a straight baseline. I'm just gonna do some sketches like this, and which will be Italic, something like this, with a beautiful capital L with a big loop like this, maybe, and then Italic letters like this. Really elegant lettering. And something like this, maybe a bigger loop here, like this. Or you can go from top to bottom, which is the natural flow, or you can go from bottom to top, and it's actually an interesting way to go, because you will have another flow which is really not bad. Try it out. It's it can be really interesting to go in that direction. So you see, okay, So maybe to keep more balance, I will need to make this part a bit less huge. You really want to keep balance when you're doing lettering. Yeah, something maybe longer here. This is just a sketch, so it can be a little messy if you want. So this looks doesn't look bad, but there is a problem with the proportions. Okay, I'm gonna make other sketches. I'm gonna try to and start with the lowercase here, like this. Okay, so this is a way you can go. You can start by the lowercase letters, just a sketch, and then spend time on your capital letter. When you have this done, you can do something that is matching what you just have here. So yeah, maybe I'm gonna try and start by the bottom like this and see if I can make something interesting. Maybe do the bottom loop on the same baseline and make it go under the baseline. But don't hesitate to make plenty of sketches, because you need to warm your hand. Remember, I said that in several blog posts. You really need to warm your hand. Your first concept won't be as good because your hand is cold. You really need to warm up those muscles. So yeah, I just erased the capital letters because I saw they were too close to each other. So I'm redrawing them with a little more space between them. Okay. So this is not bad. Maybe do this part a little smaller. This, so there is a nice balance. Exaggerate the slope. Even do this look barely noticeable, like we can't even see it's a loop. It's a really small thing like this. We can do another concept where here we don't have a connection. We have the L like this, and it goes under, and we do a swash. That can be an idea. So I start by a nice loop and go like this. Go like this, make something big and wide. And there, okay. So I draw my eye. Not too high. You have to have a nice balance between the lowercase and uppercase letters. Don't hesitate to erase and start over, start letters over, even start lettering pieces over if it doesn't feel right. Okay, so here we don't have a connection between the capital L and the I. So it's an idea that is possible. And I make a swash like here. This could be an idea. Make it flourish like that. Right now I'm still thinking about my concept, so you really see behind the scenes how I find ideas. I just draw tons of stuff until I hit something right. I'm even going to try to make something really giant here. This could work too. Maybe not with that piece, but okay, this looks too straight, so I'm gonna make it a little more curvy. And when I'll be done, I'm going to make it nice and tight. Don't hesitate also to do stuff like that. You will just write it out like if you were normally writing and not lettering. So you will see what a normal and spontaneous flow will render. Like if I want to make an L right now, it will be something like, okay. Make several like this. Even if nothing comes out of it, it will give you visual material. You're doing lettering and you see all this collection, like here. Okay, can I do, like this? This looks more like a G, like a J, sorry, not a G. You see, this is something I could work with. I really don't want it to look like jive. It needs to be alive, and we need to read live. Which is why having this is nice. So yeah, I like this this direction here because you really have a real L, and yeah, you see. So doing something spontaneous like this and not spending time just drawing, being focused, it helps you see what a real flow looks like. So I'm going to use that and sketch my concept, and hopefully we'll settle for that. So I'm going to erase this L. And take example on this sketch here. So we have something kind of high like this. Then it goes really low. It's dirty, it's normal, it's a sketch. Don't think about making pretty things. Pretty things are for when you're done with your sketches. So this is a great lesson that I had to learn the hard way too. You won't make gold right from your first drawing. I can't stress that enough, really. Don't be discouraged because, oh, my first drafts are bad. It looks bad, it means I'm bad. No, it doesn't mean that. It means your muscles are cold and you've been doing something else before, so you're not right in the mood for it. Take the time. Don't be too hard on yourself. It's coming. You won't just grab a pen and do gold. It's okay. The art will rise from all of this. This is the work. Then what you will end up by doing is the reward. But it has to start with this mess. Okay, so my eye, maybe something like this, and very small counter in the E. So yeah, I'm thinking of a mix between those two, between this L, which goes low like this and comes back here, and this one with this part here, which is bigger and wider. So now that I have all that, I'm going to take another sheet of paper and do my clean and neat lettering. Okay, so we've done some sketching. Now I have a clear idea of what I want to do. I have my reference drawing just next to me. It's off camera, but it's just next to me, so I can look at my sketches. And we're going to start. So I'm using the dots here to draw a baseline. Okay, I draw another line, so I know that my letters won't go beyond this line. And since we're doing italic lettering, I need to have some guides, some slant guides to help me, because beautiful script italic lettering is consistent. So I'm going to use the dots to help me define those guides. So I'm going to draw dots here, so every 3 dots I draw a point. Okay, so, and I will do the same under every 3 dots here, so it goes quite fast. It's the beauty of using dotted paper. I use my ruler and I connect the dots. Here, second. So you will have guides that help you stay consistent with the orientation of your letters. So I'm going to start with my I'm going to start with the lowercase letters, and then I will draw my capital L. So I follow the lines like this. I'm going to draw my eye, so I go up like this and go down. Try to make it in one movement, even if you go back then and retrace it. But one movement will make it look way more natural and spontaneous. Also try to draw big enough so you can add details later. So I have a V with a nice loop like that. And then an E, and I want it to make it with a small counter. This is the counter here. Okay. Maybe I will redraw them because I think they are a little too close to each other. Let's say it's okay. So, of course, I make the dot in the eye. I like to make it really higher, not too close, so it looks better. So, a technique I like to use, as I said, is to start from bottom to top instead of doing the L like this, usual way. So it gives another dynamic, and it's quite interesting. So I will try to make it in one movement so it looks more natural and rework it later. So let's go. So a little more. It's easier with small pages. Like this. Okay, close enough. That's not too bad. I think this is quite nice. So now we're going to rework it because you see this is not as round as I would like it to be. So yeah, drawing at big scale is harder. You will always find that drawing at small scale is easier because you don't have to make big movements. If you're drawing small, you can have your hand just stuck like this and just do your thing. If you do big scale, you have to move your arm, and your arm will never be as how to say that, trained as your fingers. So this will be harder, but it's a good thing to train at drawing at big scales because it allows you to add a lot of details. Because after this, we're going to add thicks and thins to the piece, and you cannot add thicks and thins in a nice way if you have a drawing that is too small. Okay, so I like the L, but I think the I is not good, so I'm gonna plain and simply erase it. So, a little tip when you erase your drawing: if you go this way, I'm going to go this way, you will hold your paper like this. You see? You hold the paper and you erase. If I wanted to erase in that direction, I would place my finger like this. I will hold here like this. Why I'm doing that? Because if you don't do that, if you don't do it firm enough and you erase too hard, this will happen. You see? I'm not firm enough, and I will do this, and there will be a crease, and I'm gonna be mad, and I will want to quit. So let's not have that. You hold firmly and you erase gently. You don't have to press like a maniac. You just do it gently, nicely. You will erase the same. Okay? So this is okay. We'll retrace my guides. Just don't need a ruler. Do it like this. So the fact that I have the capital L here will help me with the direction and the height of the letters. My letters were a bit too high, and I didn't like the direction after all. So maybe I will need to. The guides are a bit are not at the right angle compared to my L. So I will redraw little guides just like this, freehand. I use the actual guides to make other guides. Okay, so it's more synced to this L. So, and maybe do them a little lower. So I'm using the dot grid to do this, like this. Okay. So let's draw the eye. Up and down. Up and down. Loop. You see, try to make it like if you are writing, you do it slowly and then you rework it. So how does it look? I think the letters are still too stuck to each other, and I don't think I'm happy. No, I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with it at all. So try to make them more space between the letters. I think the I is okay. It fits the L. Still wondering about the height. I think this might be okay, but I need to make some more spacing. It's not, there are not enough space. So redraw my guides freehand. If you need a ruler, go for the ruler. I just took the habit of drawing my guides freehand, but go for the ruler if you think you need it. So I'm going to make way more space. That's better. This E is still a bit. I need to rework it a bit. Okay. So there. I made it quite simple, as you can see. It's like how you learned writing cursive at school. So yeah, I think, okay, let's call it done. This is nice. I can still go back when I will digitize it. You can still go back and make it a little bigger or a little smaller. But I think the structure is here, it's nice. So now what we are going to do is add thicks and thins to this lettering piece. So now we are going to add what I call thicks and thins to our lettering piece. So you may know it by the name of upstrokes and downstrokes. Basically, it's parts of the lettering that will be thicker than others. It's something that comes from calligraphy, because when you use a calligraphy pen, the way you hold the pen while drawing makes it in a different position. So some part of the lettering will be thicker and others will be thinner. So here we are doing pencil lettering, so we have to fake it. And if we fake it, we have to know how it works. There's a basic rule that you need to know with thicks and thin. It's like, if you go up, it's thin. If you go down, it's thick. You will experience it also with the brush pen. If you draw with a brush pen, you have low pressure when you go up and firm pressure if you go down. So the up strokes are thin and the down strokes are thick. And this will render something that is balanced and beautiful. So if you are scared that you might mess your drawing, you can use a piece of tracing paper and you tape it over your drawing and you do it over it. But we're strong and we're crazy, so we're going to do it on our drawing. So how will I do that? Well, contrary to the capital letters, I will use the skeleton. So this is what I call the skeleton. It's the single line, the monoline here, at the center here. Well, for this one I will use it at the center, and then it will depend on the space it takes. But if you want to know if the line is going up or down, well, it depends on the natural flow. So here, for example, if I were to draw my L like this, this goes up, this go down, so this would be thicker. Same here, it goes up, so it's thin, it goes down, sorry, so it's thick. So I'm going to start with this one, which is the more obvious. So I can start by the bottom or by the top. I like to start by the bottom because it's easier for me to go from bottom to top, especially with big segments like this. So I start here and I will make my line here, I follow it, and then I want to make it a bit thicker, so I go like this, you see, so like this, and then I go closer to my line so I can close it like this. Okay, so same here, maybe not as thick, but like that, from bottom to top here, and there we go. So you have a thick here. Okay, so it will be the same with this part here. This should be thick. So same thing for me, I go from the bottom because I feel more comfortable. This parallel, and then when you feel it's time to be thin, you come closer and you close it like this. Okay, so this is quite simple, but what happens when you have something that is not really going up and not really going down? Well, it's always getting more up than down or more down than up, but it will be obviously less thick here than here, but this is still going down, so this needs to be thick. So I rotate my paper like this, and so for me, from my perspective, this is bottom, this is top. Okay, so I start here, I start on my line, I draw like this, like that. I slowly build, and I'm reaching the point where it's going to be thin again. And there you go. See? There. And then it should be thin. There you go. So, what I love with rules, when you know the rules, when you master the rules, what I love to do is break the rules. So, we're going to break the rules of going up and being thin and going down and being thick. This should be thin, right? Well, yes, but I want to make it thick because I like to make the tails and the terminals with a little thickness. So I will break the rules, and I can because this will be parallel to another thick, and there is this thin part that creates a balance. So I will exaggerate a bit this part like that, okay, and then I can create this little thick tail like this. So I really encourage you to learn the basics, really learn the basics, draw tons of academic drawing, follow the rules, and when you feel that you master the rules to perfection, you can break them. And this is great to break the rules, right? Well, you see, so this will create a little tail that is really dynamic. So also you can notice that I didn't touch these parts. I want to make them a little thicker than just a hairline like this. So you can add a little thickness even to the thins, but this needs to be perfectly parallel. So here I will quickly add some thickness to my thins so it doesn't look like it's just a hairline. Okay, here too. So you see it's always consistent. You always have a thick, then a thin. This allows visual consistency. And this is how you can spot the places like this one where you can break the rules. So we're going to do the rest of the lettering. So for our dot here, we just need to make a little circle like this. Okay, so we're going to do the eye. So I could use this part here and do my thick like that, but I want it to be centered so it doesn't eat too much of this space here. So I do like this, down, parallel, and then here at the bottom I join the line so it looks nice. And I will rework a bit this part so there is a connection here like this. Okay, so this goes up so it's thin. All right. And this should be thick, like this. Okay, this is thin, and this is thick. This joining here, so I can make this a little thicker. So I go up, it's thin. You will hate these words at the end of the tutorial. And this is thick. So try to use the skeleton to be at the center so you don't eat up too much space. And it's becoming a bit messy with all the guides, but sorry, so okay. I end up with a nice thin. Okay, so we are done. So like with the capital letters, you really, I suggest that you fill the thicks and the thins, well, the space, so you will reveal how the letter forms look. So I'm going to simply fill this out. So same thing, be careful because you are putting a lot of carbon on the paper. It's more graphite than carbon, sorry. And be careful where you put your hand, where you put this part of your hand, because you might make smudges and you don't want that. So don't hesitate to rotate your paper like this. If your hand can avoid moving too much, it's great. Okay. Okay, so another tip, when you are filling big parts like this, well, I don't do it all the time, but it's better to do like little circles like this than going up like this or like this. Try to make little circles so you won't see the direction of the pencil. Will look more homogeneous. Okay. So this is typically the kind of lettering that would really need to be inked after. So you can erase all the guides and reveal the beauty. Yeah. Another thing you can do, you can see those parts here are really straight, and it's a little, well, it's not really dynamic, so I will show you a little trick that I use with my Tombow Mono Zero eraser, which is definitely a letterer's best friend. Okay, so we're done. What I'm going to do with the Tombow is carve a little a circle shape here like this, so it's more dynamic. So look like this, and I'm going to reshape it with my pencil. It's way more dynamic. It's not just straight and boring. There we go. There you go. So you see we have a nice script lettering. So like I said, I really suggest that you ink it So then you can erase all the pencil lines, and when you're done you can scan it and vectorize it. I made 2 tutorials about vectorizing hill lettering. I will give the links in the notes, so you can go there and vectorize your lettering easily, and know what my methods are to have a really nice, crisp and smooth lettering. So thank you, and see you real soon.